Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
And when you put that all together and you find out that they are at the same time pushing social programs, education, the old folks, Social Security, they push it. We are obviously now into a socialistic society, and it's being propelled by nationalism. Oh, well, we're in a war on terrorism. We have to protect the country, and our country's right or wrong, and we're going to bring freedom and democracy to the rest of the world. So you put those together, and what have you got? National Socialism. Okay, and what's the acronym for National Socialism? Nazi. And there you have it. It's right in our face, but it's just like you well know, Alex. Their favorite trick is to put everything just kind of in the open, but they have us look at it from a different viewpoint.
Stay there. One more segment with Jim Marrs. We'll give you his website and tell you about some of his latest books. Also, just in, chaos over Ron Paul, cut short gathering. Wait till you hear this. Jim Marrs, in closing here, do you think it's going to be incremental, the continued takeover, or is it going to be a big mass takeover? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, again, having lived so long, I can go back to the 50s when they could see the spread of fascism in this country and of tyrannical practices. But, of course, back then, we were all told that it was the communists. They were all behind it, okay? And, of course, we had just gotten finished with defeating the German National Socialists. And so then with the collapse of communism, so things went along kind of incrementally until the collapse of communism. And then all of a sudden, after a brief respite, we got the Bush administration in, the neoconservatives. And don't you agree, Alex, that the timetable seems to have been rushed up, that we're kind of seems they're hurrying up, that it's almost as though they do know that something very, very traumatic is going to be happening in the future, so they want to get hold of us right now while they still have
I mean, to be clear, we had tens of trillions of dollars of debt 10 years ago, 12 years ago. They had camps built. They'd martial law, train the police. They could have gone ahead with it then. But in comparison, it just gets bigger and bigger and more, and they're shifting much of the economy, much of the college grads over into this, the vocational schools. It isn't computer repair or computer programming or animal husbandry. It's all police state. And for those that don't know, millions and millions of cops are going to find something to do, and it's going to be running your life.
I think one of the biggest mistakes we've ever made is to allow them to privatize prisons, which means private companies run the prisons. Well, private companies are in it for the profit.
And now we're going to have Blackwater domestically running operations.
Exactly. And so they have every incentive to keep everyone in prison and to keep adding to the prison population, which now in the United States totals more than all of Europe combined.
Well, we are 5% of the world's population, and we have about 35% of the world's prison population.
Right, exactly. And, every time I hear that, I can't help but think of Ayn Rand, because she once, in one of her books, I think it was Atlas Shrugged, she said, you can't control free citizens, but so you pass a myriad of laws so that the average guy can't go through the day without violating some law, and you can control criminals.
Well, take the income tax. Different CPAs will give you a different filing each time. No one's following the law. You can't do it right. It's designed to ensnare you. Jim, I want to come back and plug some of your books. 1 minute on the other side, then Steve Quayle. But everybody listen up on how to get Jim's stuff on the other side. And his website, jimmarrs.com. But going back to Jim Marrs to finish up, Jim, tell us about some of your latest books and work and jimmarrs.com.
Well, you can go and see my books at jimmars.com. That's JIMMARRS.com, and keep up with some of the news that you won't hear in the mainstream media. You can also go to any bookstore. You can get my book, Crossfire, The Plot That Killed Kennedy, which is the biggest selling Kennedy assassination book. You can get Alien Agenda, which is a nonfiction journalistic overview of the UFO situation. And you can get Rule by Secrecy, which will tell you who these people are, how they came to be, and what their game plan is, and then right on up through the Terra Conspiracy.
And by the way, we carry that book at Infowars.com as well.
Yes, Deception, 9/11, and the Loss of Liberty. And then I have a new one coming out. It'll be available around the 1st of July that's going to blow everybody's mind. So be sure and be looking for that, because it will, again, pinpoint and bring right up to date who is behind this destruction of the United States.
And you've discovered it's bottom line. I mean, it's what the BBC and others now admit, the Nazi connection.
Right, except you have to understand, again, Nazi is simply acronym for National Socialism.
And it didn't start over there. It actually came from here and went over there.
It came from Wall Street, the Bank of England. So the very same people who created the German Nazis are now trying to turn North America into a National Socialist state.
Well, look at the name of Homeland Security. Look at how the 68 Gun Control Act is word-for-word German translation from their Gun Control Act. I mean, the uniforms, the nomenclature. Jim, this is going to be big. Can't wait to talk to you then. Take care.
Okay. Good to be with you.
God bless you. JimMars.com.